Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today I have a card to share with you that I made using some embossing paste and a stencil and also an alphabet die set. And I am starting with an A6 card base as usual, and I also used this beautiful stencil from Prima. And I'm going to add some embossing paste on top of this stencil, so I am taping it down on my work surface using painter's tape. And I'm also using the tape to mask off a bit on the top of the card base so I don't get the paste on the back of the card. I did manage to get some on the back anyway, but I could easily get that off. And I'm using this texture paste that I got from an art supply store, and I don't have any other paste than this, and unfortunately this contains a lot of product. And I've had this forever and it's actually starting to dry up. And as you can see, when I apply the paste on my card that I'm having a hard time spreading it out, that's due to the fact that it's pretty dry. And I really do need to get my hands on some new paste, and I will try and find a smaller container next time. The good thing about the fact that the paste was almost dry when I applied it is that it didn't take more than a few minutes before I could continue my work. The paste dried almost immediately on the card front. And then I'm going to add some pattern paper to the front of my card, and I'm using this paper pad from Whiff of Joy. You may have noticed that I have used this paper pad a lot in my videos, but I do really like the colors of the papers in this collection, and I just wish I had more papers in these colors. I don't know what it is about the blue and teal and orange right now, but I really like it. And I chose to use the orange polka dot paper for this card, and I just cut a small square with my paper trimmer and adhered it with my Tombow tape runner. And then I decided to add some washi tape on the card as well, and I just went through my collection and found a few blue ones that I thought would match the orange paper. And here I'm just adding the washi tape on the card, and I'm not really thinking too much about where I'm placing them. I'm just putting them where I think they look okay. When I was adhering my last piece of washi tape, I realized that it didn't really show up since it's pretty transparent. So I adhered it to a piece of white cardstock instead and used my trimmer to cut it out. This way I can make it opaque and add it to my card without having to see the layers behind it. And then I'm just trimming off the excess, and I'm going to use all of the small leftover pieces in the top left corner. And I think this really ties the whole card together and gives the top of the card some interest as well. And for my sentiment, I am going to use this alphabet die set from Whiff of Joy, and I'm cutting out the word hello from white cardstock, and I wanted the letters to stand out a bit, so I adhered them with foam squares. I could have die cut the words several times and glued the words together instead, which would probably have looked better, but I was a bit lazy today and I just did it the easy way and popped them up with foam instead. When the letters were adhered, I thought that the pattern paper in the back looked a little bit too perfect, and it was also a bit too large, so I decided to distress the edges a bit. And by doing this, I think the pattern paper matched the embossed background a bit more. I did use my scissor to cut away a piece of the top part of the paper, and I'm not really cutting very straight here, but it doesn't really matter since I'm distressing the edges afterwards anyway. And here I'm just rounding the corners with my corner jumper, and I'm using the 1/2 inch rounder here. And as usual, I have to add a few enamel dots to the card, and I have these ones from Prima. That is a pretty good color match. And then as a final touch, I'm adding some glossy accents to my letters. And that was my card for today. I hope you liked it and got some inspiration from my card today. And as usual, you can find all of the supplies in the description bar below. And thank you so much for watching, and I will hopefully be back later this week. Thank you.